Prajakta Koli, Rannvijay Singha, and Rohit Saraf. What's up, you guys? All healthy and fine?
How's
Yeah.
it going?
Fangirling a little bit
Hrishikesh,
here.
I should be saying that. We're a mutual admiration society.
are you
I'm going
fangirling, brother?
Brother, Rannvijay, I like this professor who calls his students by their surname. It's actually a very boys' school kind of thing. If you
It
if you
is.
Yeah.
study in one of those missionary boys' schools, it's par for the course. But this is a
Yeah.
co-ed thing. You must have obviously found that interesting. Was that in the script, or is that something that you just went with?
No, this was how the director Akarsh. So when we went on the set, Nipun was shooting. He was the second unit. The first day that I went on set, and all these kids had already met each other. They were like bonding, and they had this camaraderie, and they were like, "Oh, ye kaun aa gaya?" types to me. So,
Aji, हाँ.
so no. Anyway, so Akarsh had this idea because he said this is the kind of professor who will call them by their name to give them that kind of seriousness that it's not just Miss Prajakta strutting around. It's she has the whole thing of the family. She's the Koli. Prajakta Koli is coming. So it's that it gives you the sense of that you're here for a purpose. And I went to a boarding school, which is an army boys. It's a army school. So I was called Singha, and Tiwari was called Tiwari, and Yadav was Yadav. So as soon as you get abused, it's like, dude, my father's also called Yadav, so don't. So you try to,
Oh,
you're not, yeah. Like if somebody Singha, run faster. So in my head, it's like, this is what people might, my dad was also in the academy at one time. So I'm like, no. So that's why it gets seriousness. And I think as soon as he said it, it worked for me because when I was in a boarding school, we just call each other by the surnames.
Yeah, yeah. Rohit, your last project was with Dada Anurag Basu, and it's an open fact that Dada doesn't like scripts at all. He likes
Yeah.
improvisation, on the spot stuff. But
Yeah.
Akarsh is from the theater, right? I mean, his beginnings were in the theater, and then he's gone on to write and direct on the film and web. So it must have been, from one extreme to the other, or was there a
It was,
bit of a parallel? So talk about Akarsh's process.
actually, it was really funny. I was sharing this with Abish yesterday, Abish Matthew. When we started shooting for Mismatched, just a night before, till like 3 a.m., I was shooting with Dada without a script, right? And then the next morning, I flew to Jodhpur to shoot with Akarsh. And from Akarsh's set, I had to come back to Dada. So it was no script plus like super prepared to like no script again. It was really thing. Like with Dada, it's always like when I ask him, Chalo, okay, no script is fine, but like when you go on set, you want to know what you're doing. And Dada was just like, हाँ तू screen के सामने आना, then we'll see what to do. तू camera के सामने आ. But like
Sounds
with
very much like roadies, though. Yeah, continue. Life is roadies, Rannvijay.
uh,
There's always a parallel. Go
but with
ahead, Rohit.
Akarsh,
Sorry.
it's not like that. We had the script, right? So we actually had read everything that we were going to shoot. His process is also actually, in that sense, the only difference is that we know what we're shooting. But apart from that, how one needs to perform and all of that is always figured out when we're on set. I don't think it's.
yeah.
I don't think we spend enough time behind the schedule to kind of figure out what the mood is going to be like. I think it's for actors. He likes to play around a lot with his actors and kind of get their opinion, put his opinion, and see what we can build together as a
Yeah.
collaboration.
Yeah.
So it was different yet pretty similar, the process, and super fun.
Prajakta, the music is just spectacular. Yeah, I mean, I got a 2 episode preview copy. I mean, there's a bit of Pratik Kuhad in there. There's some Imad Shah
Oh
in there.
man, yes,
I
there
believe.
is.
Yeah, I believe Jasleen Royale was involved in composing one track. Anurag Saikia has been involved in the background score. I mean, these are some of India's coolest young singer-songwriters. You
Yeah.
wanted to just talk about the sound of the series?
I remember when I heard the Pratik Kuhad song for the first time. I think Rohit and I, we were together and we were on set
Yeah.
when a
Yeah.
scratch version of that came, and we were getting ready in the vanity. And he was on one side and I was on one side, and I think Rohit checked his phone and he's like, "Hey, guess what? I've got the scratch version. I'm just gonna play it." And he played it, and everyone went silent. And I looked at Rohit. I said, "Is this the track?" And he looked and he's like, "Yeah, it's the track." There was silence, and And that never happens. Okay, the Vanity was always vibing. Someone's screaming, someone's dancing,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that was
Mad,
happening. But
it's
when
mad.
we played that
Yeah,
song, everybody, the hair, makeup, and everyone, all of us went silent, and we only and only and only heard that song for the next few days. Very recently, we actually shot a very special video, which we can't wait for everyone to see. Again, even Jaslene's track, I heard it for the first time, and I was just like, it's just, I feel like it couldn't get any better than that, honestly. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not even that big on music myself. Like, I
I,
know Rohit is always vibing. He's always got, he needs music. He always has music playing,
No, no,
but
me
it's
too. Me
never
too. I
like
mean,
that for me.
when I'm watching a series or a film, it's the music, and then suddenly I said,
Yeah.
that's why it's like question two on this. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
super
So for
tough.
me, I'm more like dialogue. I'm more that person. Even when I'm listening to songs, I'm listening more to the words than I'm listening to the music a lot of times. But when I heard the track for this, I was stunned. I was like, this is
also,
beautiful, and I can't wait for this to be out.
also somewhere what happens is that as actors, you're involved in from auditioning to reading the script to being there, figuring out everything, and you're putting a lot into this thing with location, your costume, this and that, and you're just, and suddenly you get this real boost of
Yeah,
energy and from
yeah,
somebody who you're not in touch with every day. And this guy's elevated your series, your scenes to another level because
yeah,
this song is gonna, you're like, dude, we're blessed to
yeah,
have this. And it's
yeah,
going to elevate all of us. When this song comes out, people are going to watch our series even more. So you suddenly
yeah,
feel blessed. Yeah, yeah. And then the song will be a hit, yeah, and. So that's what songs do. And actors are not
Yeah,
part of the song making process.
yeah,
We actually hear when it's ready and not when
yeah,
the first bar was set. We're not
yeah.
into
yeah.
the process. And that's when musicians, when they see their music in a film and they see it picturized really well, they're like, अपना गाना अच्छा लग रहा है, So,
Yeah,
so it's that,
and
and you
Ranvijay,
Yeah.
also,
completely very valid point there. And completely as an aside, bro, if there was one picture that I would put up as the picture of the lockdown, it's the Singhas on Halloween, bro. Those costumes. I don't know. I don't know if Rohit and Prajakta have seen them. Your lovely
I saw
wife
it.
as
I
Red
saw it.
Riding Hood. You as a
Yeah.
vampire. Your cute daughter Kai
Vampire.
as the Wicked Witch. Whose idea was that stuff, bro? You've got like a party organizer, event manager somewhere in your family. You better
it
tap
is,
that.
it is my wife, man. And, I've, in all this, being in part of the media and all of that, fancy dress and this and playing characters, the joy that you get when your kid is trying to be a witch and with that wand and on the broom, and then she's like, you're a vampire, you bit mama, and this and that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. And we really had a great time. And I think the normalcy is what I want to get to my daughter's life.
Yeah,
I want her to have a normal kind of childhood, because just being on this Zoom school is not normal. But if it goes on for a long time, how do you tell a kid, no, maybe this is not normal? Actually, going to a physical school, doing these things, going out, going to a park, slides, falling, climbing a tree. So that's why we're trying to do everything as normal as we could to the parameters of how safe we can be. And it was great, man. It was really
great.
fun.
Yeah,
We couldn't
Rohit.
go trick or treating, so we had different 3-4 different rooms in the house where everybody's standing behind the doors. So she's coming and knocking on different doors, and
Ole.
we're pretending that these are different houses. But yeah, I mean that's we're trying to do with
Oh.
this.
That
that's
is
so
so
sweet.
cool. It's so sweet. So, Rohit, no disrespect to your character and Prajakta's character being mismatched, and there's a wonderful story in there and things like that. But this ensemble cast is really fascinating for me. I also like the platonic relationship with your character and that character who plays your best buddy. I think it's Namrata, which is played by
Yeah,
Devyani, right?
Devyani.
It's
yes,
really sweet. So talk to me about that and acting with Devyani, because that's what this show is all about, isn't it? It's about these small little
friendship.
nuggets which just come in and make up the
Yeah.
whole, which is the beauty of it.
Yeah, I think we always have. I think I can speak for myself. I have that one platonic relationship that, this friend of mine, Priyanka, she lives in Sydney. When I met her, there was never a thought that there can be anything between the two of us. It just became that. It was just platonic from the word go. And she is that one person I've always had. Like, it's been 7 years and we've had each other through our thicks and thins. And we've kind of become each other's confidants. We've kind of become each other's reality checks. We've, become each other's cheerleaders. And I think that's what Namrata is for Rishi. Very, very imperative in everything that he's navigating through, this course of 3 months of, this app development that he goes to for Dimple. And the confidence that the nudge, that little nudge that go talk to her comes from Namrata. So it's very, very exciting, super relatable, because I feel like we all have that one friend, yeah, who's
Yeah,
going to tell you that, listen, make that first move to your crush. It'll be super fun. Let's see
yeah,
what happens. You can't do it.
yeah,
Let me do it for you. So I think it's a very, very relatable character, very, very important. And I think everyone who watches it, who's had it in their lives, is going to kind of feel
Yeah.
nostalgic about it if they don't anymore. And, I feel like those scenes are the scenes that are going to be forwarded to their best friends. Like, I'm going to tag my best friend on that scene and say that, you are this person for me. So yeah, I think it's one of my most favorite characters also, because it's so complex and so beautifully kind of blend
yeah,
in together.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, while I would like to believe that Dimple is the life partner for Rishi, I would believe that Namrata is the soulmate for Rishi.
Oh,
So
that's deep. That's a
Ooh.
good
yeah,
one. That's
yeah.
deep. So you threw coffee on this poor bloke 7 times. I saw a caption on Instagram. I mean, that is a colossal waste of my favorite beverage, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm just saying, why pray?
Oh boy, honestly, it was one of the most anticipated scenes that all of us were waiting to shoot. We kept asking the directors, listen, when are we shooting the coffee scene? When are we shooting the coffee scene? And I was damn excited till we started shooting it. Because I like Rohit. He's a friend. He's a sweet guy. And when you actually are holding a big mug, like a big tumbler of like freezing cold coffee, it gets a little like, I'm like, how do I just throw it? And then after that, how do I just hold on to my expression that I'm annoyed with it? Because my immediate reflex was, oh my god, I'm so sorry. But I Akash was like, do not do that. So I think ek do baar pehle to I messed it up because I just felt really bad when I was like, oh shit, did I hurt you? Or are you okay? I'm really sorry. And then we had a couple of different angles that we had to cover. But I think the last one really did the trick where, so Akash told me that, listen, the coffee has to splash up. We have to see the splash happening. And that's when it's going to look beautiful in slow motion.
Because it's
So
high
the only
speed
way
and whatnot.
yeah. So the only way I could do that was if I go like this. And when I did that, it went all the way up his nostrils. I was sneezing for 2 hours after that, but we
Oh
hugged it out, so
no.
it was okay.
Of
Nothing
course
that
it
a
was
good
okay for
hug can't
you.
solve.
You hugged,
That
yeah,
was
you
fine for
hugged it
me.
out. Of course it was okay for you.
Ranvijay, bro, why aren't we seeing you in more films and web series? I mean, there's so many interesting
Yeah,
scripts now floating around. I know you did Kaushiki, Forbidden Love, but your fans are going to
Yeah.
say Dil Mange more, bro. The thing is that uh, you know you see enough of Rohit and Prajakta, so you don't get those pangs. You can go onto the Mostly Sane page, you can go and watch a Ludo. With you, you can go and watch that Roadies, but then you look at you and you're so brilliant. I mean, look at this part, and I'm sure your
Yeah.
co-actors will agree with me. Isn't he
Oh
just
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
brilliant as Sid Sinha?
100%,
And
100%.
then you look at this guy doing Sid Sinha so effortlessly, and you say,
Yeah.
why isn't he doing more parts? I mean, it's a question only you can
Because Sir
answer.
needs to come back to India, no, for that. He's
The UK life.
received
No, but
fully.
But
I want you
remember,
to
Yeah.
this
answer
was a
me.
conversation that was on set also. Every time we
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah,
chilling,
of
Yeah.
this is
course.
something that all of us kept asking him, why aren't we seeing you do more things?
It's a mix of many things. One, I feel like when I got Sid Sinha, it was a it's something that I can relate to in real life. Though I mean, Sid's also the similar age as me, and I do look at young kids who are actually brilliant. Yeah, be it any of the shows that I do, and they're really like well prepared, talented. I look at, when I meet Prajakta and Rohit, my first instinct is to, man, these guys are doing so well. How can I tell them how to take care of their money, how to not like fly with this popularity? Because everybody can get popular and famous. It's how you consistently just how to get normalcy in your life. Being famous is doable. How to continue to be famous for many years, and so I have that kind of thing. And I realize that the more I work, I was working for 365 days a year. I've had a daughter, I've had a wife, and all my life I wanted a good quality of life. I want to go rafting. I want to go to the countryside. I want to go with my family. The more time you take out, the more you realize that all that work that you do is for this, right?
Hmm.
And I
Wow.
have worked for 15, 16 straight years. And so now I go for rides and stuff like that. And I do stuff that's actually good. Now I'm especially with acting, what's happened is that I don't want to act because it's another acting job. That's another thing. So I get some of these offers where the role's great, it's not going to take me any further in my career. It's not going to be like, oh, now this movie is coming out. I mean, no, it's not that. So when it's a defining role like this one, when you saw it, or when I'm working with them, it is something that it's nice and easy, and it's something I've never done with Kaushiki and the second season of that, whatever. It's different, and the dearth of just probably meeting, and when I do a show is when I start getting offers for the next 2 3 months, and then I was trying to set up a few things I have, and now with this and other things that I'm doing, I want to get back to it, but I only want to do things where I'm just enjoying, and it's good for me, not just for the sake of another job that I'm done with.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. So, Rohit, the series is adapted from a Sandhya Menon book. I mean, actors either are screenplay people or they are novella people. I mean, very rarely do I come across an actor who says, I want to do the novella, read it cover to cover, and also do the screenplay.
Hmm.
What kind of actor are you? Did you do both or just the screenplay and that's it?
I think just the screenplay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I fully
And your
relied on
reasons?
like because I fully just surrendered myself to the director, and I would prefer doing the way Akash would like me to do it. And we have actually
Fair
had
enough.
that conversation where I asked him that, hey, listen, do you think I need to do my homework? Do you think I need to read up, etc., etc.? And he's just like, not necessarily. I mean, sure, if you'd like to go ahead, but it's not like a prerequisite for my set because it's anyway an adaptation. We are looking at it through our perspective, through our lens. It While it's adapted, it's not completely same. Also, I would like to kind of be clueless about Rishi and kind of figure it out along the way as I'm shooting it,
Yeah.
as opposed to clouding my head with like, oh, but Rishi's like that, oh, but in the book he was like that. Maybe Akash doesn't want that. So I'd rather go as a blank canvas and let him paint instead of like always kind of filling myself up with so much information that it actually becomes counterproductive.
Yeah, that's on
um
point. Yeah.
That makes sense, man.
Prajakta, this the behind the scenes crew is just fascinating. I mean, Ronnie Screwval is a ledge. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet Ronnie at all? Hang with him?
I
Soak in the
haven't. No,
wisdom.
no, I
Unfortunate.
haven't
And
met
then the
him yet.
Kurana brothers, man. I mean, Akarsh and
Oh
Oh my
Adani, who was
God,
man.
on
they
on
are
Unit One,
mental.
was an associate. They're a riot. I mean, never
Too
a dull
Yeah.
much.
moment. So
They're
talk
too
to me
much
about that.
fun.
And then Ghazal Daliwalu also wrote the dialogues and screenplay, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
with Lipstick Under My Burqa, as well as
Yeah.
what's एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा
For
लगा. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So talk to me about these people. The writer, the brothers, as
You
and Ronnie
know,
you haven't met.
honestly, this was the first time I was completely out of my zone, right? Doing something that is so not like anything I've ever done before. So I was so nervous. I didn't know, but when I found out about the kind of people that were working on it, I was nervous, yes, but more than that, I was just so excited that I was working with a bunch of people because Mithila and I are very close. And Mithila and Akarsh have done a bunch of stuff together. So the minute I called Mitz, I'm like, Mitz, I'm doing a show. She's like, who's directing it? I said, Akash. She's like, listen, you're gonna have the best time on set. She's like, is Aadhar gonna be there? I said, I think. She's like, listen, you're sorted. Just like it's gonna be the best time. And it was that and so much more. You know, अगर किसी को लगता है अगर आपको कोई आके बोले कि द एक्टर्स वर डूइंग अ लॉट ऑफ मस्ती ऑन सेट नो आकर्ष के सेट पे आकर्ष के अलावा कोई मस्ती नहीं करता है it is just Akarsh who is pranking, who is cracking jokes, who is saying things. There was this one time where he just kept going on and on and on pranking me on set, where he would just like, like I can't say it now, but I'll tell you sometime. I'll
I
like say
really want to say
where
one thing about the way he pranks. I want to say one incident after this. Akash can kill me also, and I wouldn't mind because it's so fun. You continue, and then I'm going to say it.
yeah, like he is such a child with these jokes. Like
He's a
his
teddy bear.
jokes are
Yeah,
not.
he is.
Yeah, his jokes are not like, oh, smart. They are so petty. I mean, they are just, and he finds a lot of pleasure in them. So this one time, he just kept going on, and I looked at him. I said, "तू 40 साल का है, कुछ तो थोड़ा तो समझ ले, कुछ तो कर ले." He's like, हाँ. So and उसके also ऊपर he had some snarky lines. So Akarsh and Aadhar, I think, made this one of the best experiences for me, because all of us cast members really got along well, and I think Akarsh and Aadhar had a lot to do with it. Akarsh especially. Akarsh made sure that I met with Rohit much before we started our readings. Also, we had like a meeting that happened where he's like, "Come, I'll give you food. Let's chill." And I met with Rohit then. Akash made sure that all of us, were spending enough time together on set, off set. And that sort of reflects a lot when you see it in the show. So, but
Yeah.
just too much fun. Just always so snarky and always has something to say. Too much fun. I love AK too much.
I
Yeah,
think
and
they set the
this.
tone.
Yeah,
Up to you.
set the tone. Sorry, set the tone.
They set the tone for how all of these kids, because there's 6 7 young people all ready to prove their mettle. They're very competitive. If you hadn't made them a bunch of friends, and both of
Yeah,
them and Nipun, they just said, yeah, we're a bunch of friends, like in theater, because you spend 3 4 months together. They got that. They got this whole kind of culture. Everybody was on, bro. All these kids were on set at 5:30 a.m. Doesn't happen. Everybody was there. They're ready at 6:30, eating their breakfast. 7, everybody was ready on set. That kind of discipline is amazing, and while having fun, because
Yeah.
the tone from both the directors, the DOP, everything is set, and everybody's acclaimed. Whatever these kids want to do has been achieved by these people. If they can
yeah,
be calm and humble and chilling, you guys are not going to be bickering इसका सीन था मेरा close-up नहीं था and all, which these
Yeah.
guys haven't thought of, and they don't know
Yeah.
this. And for poor Prajakta, when she goes to a competitive set one day, she will be like, "Oh, this is okay," because this was a dream. Like
Listen, yeah. Yeah.
moonwalk through this whole shoot,
Yeah.
man. They were just
yeah. I
chilling.
mean, for Rohit, this must have been taken you back to college, like Xavier's in the woods and things like that. Just
You
hanging
know,
out
I,
with
I
your
want to
your bunch.
clarify this. I did not go to Xavier's. I did
I mean,
not.
whatever, whichever college you went to. I
I
mean, I'm just
didn't go to
saying.
a college.
He didn't
You
go to
didn't.
college, bro. Yeah, he
You're the
just
wrong
left.
person to ask
Yeah, I
about
mean,
the
I dropped
campus.
out after my 10th grade. I didn't want to
Yeah,
study after.
actually, he told me this. So this was something that when I looked at this guy, I was like, okay, serious, wants to be an actor, knew it when he was really young. But I don't see this now, that everybody's really serious about their education, and parents, they're like, you want to act,
Yeah,
you finish your graduation or go to a acting school abroad, whatever. But this guy, just after his 10th, said, "Mujhe to acting karni hai." And that's why when he's playing Rishi, I can understand this is an old school guy also, because Rishi is also in this day and age looking for love at 18,
ah,
right?
well said.
And Rohit is that guy. He loves acting. He left whatever anybody says in the world, कि आपको 11 12 करना है, graduation होना चाहिए, plan B. He says, no, my plan A is to act, and I'm getting there as soon as I can so that I become better with age.
Yeah.
So that's why it was easy for him to relate to Rishi.
Compliment from the
Wow.
original youth icon, bro. Then you got to treasure that. Okay, my
How
time's up. We got to
amazing is
wrap. We got to wrap because this show is all about apps. I'm going to quickly ask all of you to talk about your three. Just throw it out. Your three favorite apps. What do you use all the time? Rannvijay, you 1, 2, 3.
Netflix, yeah, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So
Yeah.
Prajakta.
you use.
For me, it's YouTube, Instagram, and WhatsApp because I watch Netflix on my TV, not on my app.
Fair enough.
Just making it
Right.
clear.
YouTube Music, Instagram, and this application called Calm, CALM.
Ah, yeah. That's the meditative one. You just play it
Yeah.
on,
It is.
over your headphones
Can
and it
we
just,
just talk about how brilliant that
yeah,
application is? It's beautiful.
I have
awesome.
that app in
Awesome.
real life. It's called Kainat.
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
On that note, you guys, thank you for Mismatched. I can't wait to run through the rest of the series. Thank you, Prajakta. Thank you, Rohit.
Thank you, Hrishi K.
Thank
Thank
you very much,
you.
Let's
This is
Rannvijay.
go.
such
Lots
an
of love.
honor.
Thank you, brother.
Cheers. Bye.
See
Love
Lots
you.
of love.
Stay
chatting
safe.
with you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Stay safe, guys.
Thank you.